I'm just gonna straight up send it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. This is Shady Capable, and today I'm gonna show you how to make one clock diorama out of some of the things that I had laying around my house. Found one old wine box laying around my house that I had to put to use. I had one old Subway model stairwell kit that I had laying around until now, so I busted it out and got to building it. I cut a hole on the side of the box where the subway stairs will sit. Then I took cardboard and I built up the foundation for the subway. I dry fit the stairs in, and it was a tight squeeze, but I put a little bit spit, and what do you know, the bugger went fit. I took a bunch of cardboard and I went glue them together to make the bottom portion of the subway. Once I got the deck in, I started working on the walls of the subway. I used cardstock and construction paper. I made sure to use a really sharp box cutter just in case I nubbed one of my fingers off. It'd be a really clean cut. I then glued down one by one each and every single piece. This took a long time and was very tedious. Never before have I been so grateful for being blessed with such tiny hands. And now, time for a snack. After the snack, instead of throwing away the rubbish, I decided to recycle the popsicle sticks and use them to make the doors and signs for the subway walls. I then glued them down and took the time to paint some of the tiles blue. Well, that took a while, but to be honest, I think it's coming out pretty cherry. Gluing in the tile walls I made one by one was just way too satisfying watching this. Because I have a phobia of being the world's best breakdancer down staircases, I beefed up the stairwell using cardstock and more construction paper. Then I found this metal grate looking plastistruck, which I felt went perfect for the subway deck. I had these I-beam pieces that I had from a pack of random plastistruck pieces that I got from my local hobby store. I used this glue and sand to make the railroad tracks. In the same pack, there were these handrail looking pieces that I used to make hand railings on the staircase. Now, being that I'm blind in one eye and can't see crap out of the other, I figured it'd be a good idea to put a lighting system in the diorama. I found this really cool set of miniature street light posts. I feel that this will add to the realism, very much so. I took those and these LED miniature strip lights, along with some of the extra wiring that I had left over from all my shock therapy treatments, and I started getting to work. And voila, the Lord said, "Let there be light." Next, I worked on the base structure of the sidewalk and the buildings. I took some cardboard, I painted it, and I perfectly cut it to fit on the piece like a glove. Then I took some grip tape and used it for the road. Now it's time for my favorite part, dremeling. I always make sure not to wear safety glasses so that shards of debris will fly directly into my eyes. To make the edges smooth, I used a little bit of putty. Next, I got to work on the pillars, the toll booth, and a few other things for the downstairs of the subway. I literally took a bunch of leftover plastistruck and a few items that was just sitting around my house and imagination, and I came up with this really cool subway scene. Once that was complete, I took more cardstock, colored it red, and cut it into little tiny brick-shaped pieces and made these planters for the trees. After burning a few trees, I glued down the base of the buildings, and I took some grip tape and made a small basketball court. Then a little mini Hoonie came and helped me with my diorama a bit. I had a couple of old model buildings just sitting around collecting dust, so I meticulously put them together, adding slight details to them, such as tinted plastic sheets for windows. After pin-cushioning my fingers 1,000 times trying to thread this needle, I was able to use it, some sticks, and some old screen to make this fence for the basketball court. For the basketball hoop, I repurposed a tiny street sign, painted it, and used a tiny washer for the rim.
These are the ducks that come visit us every morning.
And now to fatten up my dinner. After preparing my dinner, I proceeded to make the backdrop for the diorama where the clock will sit. So I went back to my Dremel because I wasn't sure if I got enough wood shards flown into my eye earlier. I used a template to perfectly create and place the clock onto the background of the diorama. I tightened up any remaining screws. I add in a few last and final but very important details. And just like that, you have yourself one beautiful clock diorama. Now, I just showed you that even with my physical handicap, with a little determination, a few things laying around your house, some art supplies, and lots of therapy, that anything is possible.